The majority of Americans are only going to buy one house in their whole life. Yet the majority of Americans have no idea where to start when it comes to purchasing a property. In this video, I'm going to talk about the simple outline of what you should be doing to prepare yourself to buy a house within the next 6 months. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name's Ricardo. I'm a San Diego real estate broker, United States Marine Corps veteran, and let's jump right into what you should be doing to prepare yourself to buy a house within 6 months. So let me just put it into perspective for you from what I'm seeing in the market and helping buyers buy houses right now. It usually takes about 2 to 3 months to actually buy a house. That doesn't include any of the prep work that you might need to do before you even get to that stage. Now, I say prep work because you have to prepare yourself for this journey because it is going to be a lot of moving parts and it can get really hectic if you don't have the right mindset when you're going into buying a house. So I think first and foremost, you have to understand, why do you want to buy a house? I know it's the American dream, or it was the American dream. I know it's what everyone pushes out in social media and all online, that you should buy houses. But if it's not important to you, you're not going to follow through with it, just like anything else in life. So dig deep on why you want to buy it. Is it because you want stability for your family? Is it because you want to build on an investment strategy for the future? Is it because you don't want to have to pay rent anymore? Is it because you want to plant roots in a specific location? Whatever the reason, there's no wrong reason that you want to buy a house, but it has to mean something to you, because there's going to be some hurdles that you're going to have to overcome. There's going to be some work that you're going to have to put in. And if it doesn't have any purpose at the end, you're most likely going to give up when those first obstacles come your way. So after you understand your why, you have to take a look at your basic finances. I'm big on just doing things on your own. The less help that I need from anybody, the better, in my opinion. Everyone's different. But you can use resources like Credit Karma to see where you stand with your credit report. Now, mortgage credit and Credit Karma is a little bit different from what my experience. However, it's going to give you a good baseline to understand what your credit score is. Why is this important? Because the better credit score you have, obviously, the better rate you're going to get, and it's going to impact your overall monthly payment and determine if buying a house is going to make sense for you. Now, along with other free resources, you want to look at your annualfreecreditreport.com. I believe that's what it is, annual free credit report. Now, this isn't going to give you a credit score, but what it's going to do is going to show you everything that's on your credit history. And this is so important so that you don't go to a lender and get a pre-approval and your credit not be up to par with what it should be. So if you see any discrepancies on your credit report, if you see any outstanding balances that you already paid, if you see any collections that should not be there, now's the time to work with credit agencies who can remove those for you so that when you are getting your pre-approval, you have the cleanest report out there. Now, the next step you should be doing is get a pre-qualification, not a pre-approval. Most likely your bank's going to be your best resource to do this for you because they're going to want your money, so they're going to give you a pre-qualification. Make sure they don't run your credit. It's just a pre-qualification. You're going to tell them your basic income. You're going to tell them your basic debt requirements. That's why you pull the credit report and the credit history. And they're going to give you an outline of what you will be qualified for if you submit the full application for a loan. Now, this is important because then you're going to understand what your budget is. So knowing your budget is going to tell you if you are going to buy a house soon or if you need to wait for the future. Say your budget is $800,000. That's what you're pre-qualified for. Now we have to account for the down payment. The down payment, it's going to vary based off the type of loan you use. So if you're a VA loan, obviously it's 0 down. If you're FHA loan, it's going to be 3.5% down. And if you're a conventional loan, you can go as low as 5% from what I've seen. Some people will tell you that it has to be 20%. It just doesn't have to be 20%. Now, what you're going to do is whatever you're pre-qualified for, you're going to times the percentage of that amount, and that's going to be how much you have to have for the down payment. So if we just take the 800,000 and we times it by 0.035, which is the percentage, that means your down payment has to be $28,000. That's just the down payment. Now, if you're going to be FHA, that same 800,000, you're going to take it, times it by 0.05, you have to have 40,000 for conventional. I think I said FHA. VA loan, 0, FHA, 3.5, conventional, 5%. That's going to be the down payment amount that you have to make sure you have ready to buy a house. Now we have other costs besides down payment. We have the closing costs, and there can be a whole nother video on what exactly closing costs are. But to keep it simple, it's about 2.5% of the purchase price. So same simple math, you're gonna do 2.5% of 800,000. And I'm not saying that's your purchase price, that's just what you're qualified for, but we wanna make sure we have that amount in case we go to the extreme ends of our limits. So again, at 800,000, times 0.025, which is the closing cost amount, that's another 20K in closing costs that you should have set aside. So if you're a VA loan, that's 20K altogether you should have in savings set aside ready for a home purchase. If you're FHA, that's 28K for the down payment and 20K for the closing costs, 48K total. If you're conventional at 5%, that's gonna be 40K for the down payment and 20K for the closing costs, 60K total. So just doing this right off the bat, you're gonna be able to see if buying a house within the next 6 months is plausible, or it's gonna give you something to save for the future. Right off the bat, you're not gonna have to get any credit pulled. You're gonna get all these free resources, and you're gonna see yourself if you're in a position to buy a house. Now, once you have that simple understanding of your finances, you can make the decision if you're ready to move forward with a home purchase. At this point, what I would start doing and what I advise my clients to start doing is start going to open houses, start home shopping, start exploring neighborhoods, seeing what you do like about certain neighborhoods, seeing what you do like about certain homes, seeing what your wants and needs are. Your wants and needs. You have to understand why you need a house in a certain location. You have to understand what you need in a house to meet whatever it is your living standards are. And that's gonna help you narrow down when that dream home hits the market. When you're ready to buy a house, when you understand your why, when you have the money allocated for the home purchase, go get pre-approved. Pre-approvals are good for 90 days. So when you wanna close on your home within those 90 days, go get your pre-approval. As soon as your dream home hits the market, we go tour it. We talk with the agent. We see what the situation has to be like. We start kind of negotiating what the deal needs to look like. I'll let you know what the terms should be for a competitive offer for that dream home of yours, and you decide whether you want to make the purchase or not. But the key factor is you're already set up to win. So at that moment, it's all on you whether you want to buy your house or not. Now, this process can take 2 to 3 months, depending on what specific home you're looking for and what specific location. Sometimes it happens sooner. I rarely see it take longer than 3 months, because if we're actively looking for homes, if you're actively pre-approved, we're gonna be in the trenches trying to find your dream home so that you can make a competitive offer on it and snag that deal up. Now, simply put, once we find your dream home, we negotiated the contract, it was accepted, we go into escrow. There's a whole another video on escrow. You can find that down below, I'll link it. However, it's a simple process of making sure the appraisal comes in, making sure your final loan details are set, and making sure the inspection of the property meets your standards. It's as simple as that in the basic of terms. We can get way more nitty-gritty with it, but it comes down to understanding your why of why you want to buy a house, understanding your finances to make sure you're in a position to buy a house, and then actively making an effort to win that dream home of yours. It's as simple as ABC. It gets all complicated with everything we see online. There's a lot more details that go into it. That's why you have a real estate professional like myself or whoever it is you're gonna use guiding you along that process. But if you just set yourself up for success in the beginning, you come with knowledge of where you should be at, it's gonna work out for you. If you need some help not understanding anything, reach out to a real estate agent, reach out to a lender, reach out to me. We'll point you in the right direction. We'll get you on a path to being a homeowner, but it should take you no longer than 6 months to buy your next house. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video at all, subscribe, comment, do everything YouTube wants you to do. I really appreciate it. If you want help buying a house, reach out in the comments, send me a message, smoke signals, however you can find me. If you liked this video, go ahead and watch this one next. Until next time, take it easy. Have a good one.